Morning everyone, namaste. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for inviting me to this wonderful summit. When I entered from there, I saw a lot of energy in the room, which further got accentuated after she pushed you on. Because we go to a lot of conferences and a lot of meetings. Sometimes that energy is missing, but I think this room is full of energy. So I'm very happy to be here. I've been Secretary Consumer Affairs for last 11 months. Actually, I joined on 1st of January this year, so completing a year at the end of this month. And we have been trying to do things to, as the CEO said, strike a balance between the interest of the consumer and the interest of the business. And this is not coming from me, this is coming from the top. Whenever Honorable Prime Minister chairs our meeting, I think the ease of doing business is always on top of his agenda. And he always keeps telling us, keeps pushing us, that don't become an impediment in business. You should try and facilitate the good guys, the people who want to do business in a responsible, honest, and a reasonable way. Please help them, because in the end that helps the economy. I was just reading this morning, preparing for this meeting here, and I saw a huge number, 800 billion US dollars is what retail is worth in India. And I think the push that India wants to give to its economy is primarily dependent on manufacturing and retail. And I think you are all our great catalyst, our great growth engines of the country. And I think country must be thankful to you. I want to be thankful to all of you for facilitating India into its paths of economic growth. We have completed 75 years since its independence, and as Honorable Prime Minister says, the Amrit Kal has just begun. From now to 2047 is the quarter century that belongs to India. And when we all work together, when we all work as a team, and as PM keeps telling us, to follow this not only whole of government approach, but whole of nation approach, then only we'll be able to reach the point that we wish to reach in 2047. As far as this is concerned, I was reminded of my Harvard classes when we were taught in the Harvard Business School that I think there are five P's. So there was, I think, the product, the price, the promotion, the place, and people. Probably I'm wrong, but it is something like this. So when it comes to retail, our professor used to say that you have to focus on these 5 P's. But I think after joining the government and especially this ministry, I have realized that there's another P which should encompass all these P's, and that is a P of protecting the interest of the consumer. And you all know, and your growth is dependent on how the consumer feels, I think the 4 points mentioned by the CEO on that slide, he wants things to be faster, he wants the results now, he wants a very personalized kind of an experience. But in all this, we have to protect the consumer, and the other P's have to respond to this protection. The price has to be right, the product has to be of good quality, it should adhere to the norms of safety, the promotion has to be reasonable, no misleading advertisements. And that is what we all do in the ministry. We try and create a system, whether it is misleading advertisements, whether it is the packaging rules, whether it is legal metrology, as to how the businesses should ensure that the interest of consumer is protected. In doing that, Sometimes we, in our over enthusiasm and without realizing the difficulties that it might cause to you, sometimes we do cross the line, and sometimes we want to be over protective. And then suddenly we get a message from people sitting on the dais or others that, sir, this is going to become an impediment. And then we try and engage, we sit across table and we try and resolve. And hopefully, till now, we have been successful in whatever we've done. This is a very dynamic relationship. This can happen, this engagement happens every day. We create problems, then you tell us, no, this is a problem, please resolve it. Then we solve the problems. Sometimes you create problems, and we say, no, this should not happen that way. So it's a very interesting dynamic that we have between us. And as long as this dialogue continues in a positive and meaningful way, and the goal is to solve problems, I think we are on the same page, and we will help the business grow in this country. I think this year is a great opportunity. I don't know whether many of you realize, I'm sure everyone is aware that on 1st of December, like 6 days back, 7 days back, we got the leadership of G20. So now we lead the top 20 countries in the world. And we have to steer over next year. The global agenda will be decided in India and probably dominated by India. I think it's a great opportunity, comes once in a lifetime to lead the world. The demography is with us. There's a huge population base. There's a huge talent base. So I think we have to use this opportunity, not just the government, but all of us together, so that India truly emerges a leader during this year. And at the conclusion of our G20 leadership, which will happen on 1st of December 2023, the world should see India in a different way. The world should respect India in a different way. And the meetings and the programs have started. If you see today's newspapers, the first event happened yesterday in Udaipur in Rajasthan. This is also a great opportunity for us to sell India as a tourist destination. And when more tourists come, when more money comes, then the retail grows. So it is all of us together who should make great use of this opportunity to make sure that India prospers. And as I said, you are the engines. And I again remember my class in Harvard, where we had a very world famous professor. He's still there, he's a legend. He's called Michael Porter. And he was teaching us at the Harvard Business School. The course was called Microeconomics of Competitiveness. And he said, if a country has to succeed, it is not just one or two big names that have to succeed. All of us sitting in this room, unless the small firms, unless all the retail succeeds, the country cannot really prosper. So I think the responsibility is jointly with you and us. And I will personally make sure that we will not be a regulator, we will be a facilitator to you and ensure that if you are doing the right things, you prosper so that India prospers. Thank you.